You know, if I had my choice of shoe, I'm gonna fuck the whole shit up.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? So,
okay. Is it true that you played a significant role with? I mean, how can I word it? With the thought process of the paid in full joint,
yeah, no.
or explain that. What was that about?
So I used to work with Dallas Austin. I used to work with Rowdy Records. That's how I got into the music business. And some years later, 97-ish, he had another company called Free World Entertainment. And Lisette TT, she actually from here too. But she had a song called Young, Sad, and Blue. And I was promoting that. Joy, he had an artist called Joy. Derek Dimitri, which we called him Boo Boo, he was in a group called Highland Place Mobsters back there, but he had Get It On Tonight. Montel Jordan said, and if it's all right, can it get it on tonight? So I had did that originally on him. So long story short, I was working with him, man, and the character that Wood Harris played, AZ, the real AZ, came to the office, you know, with this script. And Dallas he was working on some film shit, but his partner ain't understand it. And I was like, wait, I know somebody that understand this shit right now. So I took him down to Rockefeller Records on John Street and introduced him to Dame and Biggs, and they got it immediately because, you know, the Harlem connection. And it became a cult classic, but I knew from the door before a script was written because AZ just had this infectious way of telling you the story, and then you be like, wait, you got shot in the face? Like you talking to this nigga and all this shit. He was saying all this before it came to life on screen. I was like, you know, and I only asked Dane for a part in the movie and that nigga ain't give it to me. So
he ain't give it to you?
Nah, he ended up making for with some, you know, some bread, but.
Oh man, you right about the guy AZ telling the story. Even when I heard him get interviewed on Vlad, he compelling and captivating when as he talking. Yeah, he walking. You can see the pictures.
It's a hell of a, you know, hell of a story, man.
Right, right. So one of the questions went out, you know, not little as in little, but a little living legend, you know, with Wale being one of our biggest music, you know, guys that come on the hip hop joint, man. How was Wale discovered? Who discovered Wale?
Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Robin Line, who owns Baller Alert.
Oh, Robin. Shout out Robin.
Yeah, she called me one day. She said, yo, this Bam on the radio rapping like shit.
Right.
Now, mind you, I'm at Rockefeller at the time, I think.
Right.
And I had already wanted to sign UCB.
Okay, yeah.
So they had a sexy lady going and all that, right? So I've been trying to get somebody from DC, and because I had the Rockefeller shit behind me, I wanted to put them on Rockefeller because it just made, you know what I mean? So UCB ain't work out. She didn't hit me. She said, is this Bama rapping like shit? You gotta meet him. He can rap like shit. He like a backpacker motherfucker, but he can rap like shit.
So Robin seen that backpacker.
She heard it. She heard it. She didn't see him.
Okay.
You know, Robin's a scientist.
Right,
she gonna find anybody. If somebody locked up, she know where to go get the information. Robin is a detective scientist. So my sister, you know, that's my baby. So, you know, so she was telling me I gotta check him out. So the next time I was in town, she told me that he was affiliated with DJ Alizé.
Okay, yeah.
And so I was like, all right, cool, boom. So met with the dude, and he rapped his face off. But at the time, you know, DC wasn't really forgiving to the DMV thing that's happening now. If you was from Maryland, you was a Bama. Like Virginia, you was a Bama. We not fucking with you. Ain't nobody in DC putting no stamp. But because I was from DC, I was hell bent on making it okay.
Right.
So, you know, I met with a lot of, you know, upstanding rappers, former street dealers, drug dealers, you know, like, and, you know, people I knew, just to let them know that what I wanted to do. And I figured that DC, Maryland, and Virginia be bigger, you know what I'm saying, as a voice box, as a speaker box, if we, you know, if everybody got behind it. I mean, DC by itself is not as strong with Maryland and Virginia, you know, behind it. So I just put my money where my mouth was, signed a dude, this dude named Southeast Slim. He had these records that was good, but they weren't the movement. But he had already done some records with Southeast Slim, who, you know, did One Thing About a Player, Dig Dug. I mean, he was chopping these go-go beats out, and that's what I had wanted to do.
Right.
Like, I wanted to take our sound and basically, like, you know, go there. So within about 2 weeks, the Dig Dug joint came out, and the city just went crazy. And we was getting like $2,500 a joint. And my mentality was like, if the Go-Go could play every night, you could perform every night.
Right.
You know what I mean? So robbing again, being at the Platinum, being at all these joints she working at, you know, we just would go to club. So I was taking them, you know, pulling up in the Sprinters and doing all the things, gave them a 43 chain, and, you know, the rest is literally history. But, you know, Haters New Love, well, Paint a Picture was the first mixtape we put out. Haters New Love was the second joint, and it was up from them. But the gag, as Robin would say, is we went to LA on one trip for a trip to kind of like, there was this guy on MySpace hitting me all the time. His name was Daniel Wiseman. And this band used to hit me on MySpace all the time about Wale. So, you know, we knew that the internet was coming into play and that we had to kind of be with the times, but, you know, I wasn't on that. You know, I wasn't no digital social savant, and this dude seemed to be.
Right.
So when we was going out to LA, I took Wale out there. We sat down, met with the dude, and my test for this band was to go to Mr. Child and seeing if he would pick up the bill.
Right.
Because any player in any city in the world, if you meet somebody for the first time and want some business or do something, you're gonna take care of that check. So we was at the joint. He paid the bill at Mr. Child. So like, all right, we're gonna hire this motherfucker. Right. A month later, he done convinced Wale to stop fucking with me and to go do a deal with Rich Kleiman and what's the boy name that he signed? The white boy DJ, Mark Ronson.
Okay.
So he convincing that, mind you, in this time, he get missing. I can't find him. His mama calling me looking for the nigga, the whole shit. So I get a call from the Fader magazine, Rob Stone, owner of Fader magazine. He said, yo, thanks for, you know, setting the Wale thing up. You know, he has this art that I was like, oh, word? I ain't know shit about it. Right. And I kind of figured something was going on because the band was just started getting weird. So he ended up basically, you know, rolling with this white boy. They end up signing to Mark Ronson, and them niggas cooking up a whole bunch of shit. Now, mind you, this whole time I'm putting this guy on, you know, and we good now, but I'm putting this guy on, getting my world, bringing him to my world. I had left DC, create a whole ecosystem in the music business, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put my city on the map, and this guy's just going crazy. Everybody wanting to be involved, but put him, made UCB his band, you know what I mean? I put him with Trey and UCB. I put him in, you know, Lindsay had a movie called, what was the name of that movie, Jazz in the Diamond District, you know what I mean? I put Rocky, you know, Rock Mikey and Trey in that joint, you know what I mean? But I put them together, and all this is going on in like a month span with this dude getting missing. So, long story short, you know, at first, you know, if it was up to Robin, we'd have tied him up and put him in the goddamn trunk. But I just wanted to fall back because I had paperwork. And my lawyer was telling me, you know, let it bang. If they ever try to put a record out, we're going to go see them. And sure enough, they got the Interscope deal. And then when they tried to put that logo, put that album out, I was like, y'all got to pay me. Right. And I need my logo on that thing.
Or you go show your logo be on it too?
I ain't got a bag. You know? And it was what should have happened, but you know, it's funny, Rich Kleiman and I, we good today. He actually manages KD.
I about to say that, yeah. You said the name the
yeah,
first
but he was partners with Mark Ronson.
Oh, okay.
And he was part of that Bama shit that went on for real, but you know, people, you grow and you learn, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So fast forward, but you and Wale, y'all cool as today.
Yeah, I mean, that's little bro. I mean, he don't mention me in songs like he mentioned everybody else.
Right, yeah.
But it's all good. I love the KB What Up on the mixtape, so I'm good with that.
Right, yeah.
But you know, but I think people will erase you if you let them anyway. You know what I mean? Anybody, because I think with growth comes a certain level of, you know, identity. You know what I mean? And men, Black men specifically, we need our own identity. We won't be attached to nobody. We want to be our own on our own. I understand it, but respect is respect, and I know he respect me, so that's all I need.
Okay, well, cool. Long as it ended with pretty good. So, what other DMV artists that you break bread with or try to bring out? Because I heard it was another guy just today told me. That's my man.
Shit, XO.
XO. That's
man. That's one of my favorite rappers in the history of rap.
Yeah.
Love him today. We you know, we communicate and show love today.
Right.
AB the producer, Gordo Brega, Rada MC. Like, I had a whole vision for DC. But you know, the thing about DC is that, again, the crab in the barrel mentality comes into play because, you know, Everybody think they know more than everybody, you know. And that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But we gave everybody love and respect with Studio 43. Gave everybody an opportunity. And more importantly, gave a light to a city that really deserved it. You know, so everybody could say what they did for the city, but before me, there was no like bloodline outside of go-go, you know what I'm saying, to what's going on. You know what I mean? We had definite artists and, you know, from Nonchalant, Power 3, even back in the day, Chucky Thompson. Like we had a lot of great things, but Wale put the city on the map, like in a major way. So people could say what they want prior to that, but that really put the city on. So anything that was going on during that time, salute to everybody, you know what I mean? Salute to all the energy because it contributed to, you know, what we had going, but they got to give Slim his props.
Right. And since you left the city, not left it and come back, because obviously you came back and did a lot of things, but when you was out there, there's always been a mystique or an unhidden term that DC people feel like nobody in this industry want to mess with us, nobody in the other cities want to mess with us. Can you speak to that? Do you feel like is it in a brain or in our brain, or is there some reality to it? If so, why? What's your intake on that?
Hey, look here, legend.
Yeah.
That's all in our minds.
Okay.
You know, and that's the crab in the barrel mentality I've been talking about.
Right.
Because we have been, for whatever reason, and I even take it back to the streets. Like there was a time in DC where everybody was, you know, how they talk about Atlanta with all these artists. Like everybody could move around, everybody got money together. It wasn't until, you know, the things that happened with the city, where the murder gang came, the murder capital of the world. But that's a mentality and it's ingrained in us. Just like, you know, our ancestors, that shit flow through our DNA. You can't tell me slavery don't play a part in some of our trauma, right? But when you look at it like, it's all what you think. The reason I left here is because I couldn't stay in the street. And the problem with DC, you end up being affiliated some kind of way, whatever way. And the way, you know, the back time shit working, them numbers they want to put on you with probation, I had to go.
Right.
But when I left, I also saw my superpower.
Right.
You know what I mean? I knew that I had a, you know, special place with my hometown, but I couldn't, you know, achieve my dreams here. And that's sad. Right. That's why, like, even with Wale, it's like, nothing's happened since him. I mean, Shy Glizzy, Fat Trail, all the youngest, salute them all, but ain't nothing happened in the way it's supposed to. It's supposed to be Motown. It's, you know how much talent done came out of here, but it's us. It ain't nobody else. It's our mentality. We put them pressures on ourselves. We put them shackles on ourselves. It ain't nobody don't want to fuck. They gotta fuck with us. Where you been in your life where you ain't been received? In your life, from streets to the court, from the streets to the suites. You've been accepted everywhere you go. But it's our mentality.
Right. Yeah. And I wanted you to touch on that. I wanted you to get that out there because you're a living example of it, and you experience, and you can get both perspective on it. Because again, that is a DC mentality. It is a mindset that they flag DC against the world. Which
is a tragedy because they keep taking our shit since way back. Everything we've done. I mean, if you look at Herbie Lovebug back in the day, his whole sound was go-go. If you look at inspiration for television shows, if you look for whatever it is, man, DC has a big contribution. But again, they treat us like the drive-through. They come through, take what they want, to keep it moving.
And that's definitely low. That's definitely low.
Out the park, niggas know me. Curtbone, little homie. All days, yeah. Been a road, yeah.
Thank you for watching Changing Jewels on Curtbone TV. If you like the jewels that we're dropping, subscribe, hit the notification, and share with some friends. And I'll see you on the next episode of Changing Jewels, Curtbone TV.